Yo, being a boss ain't just flexing power. It's about moving right, thinking sharp, and leading from the heart. Here's the commandments, learn them, live them, lead them. 10 rules to lead, 10 rules to win. If you wanna hold the crown, better let that sink in. A real boss don't fake, don't fold, don't stray. Follow the code and you'll never lose your way. Rule 1, don't just talk, show the grind. If your hustle ain't loud, they gon' leave you behind. A leader don't flex if the team don't shine. It's a squad thing, leave no one behind. Rule 2, stand tall, don't trip on the shade. Haters throw stones, but the real don't fade. If you crack under pressure, your crew gon' split. Be the rock in the storm, keep your squad legit. Rule 3, speak truth, even if it sting. Lies build walls, truth build wings. Respect hit different when your words stay bomb. They'll follow you forever long after you gone. 10 rules to lead, 10 rules to win. If you wanna hold a crown, better let that sink in. A real boss don't fake, don't fold, don't stray. Follow the code and you never lose your way. Rule 4, listen more, talk less, observe. Wisdom hit harder when it's served by the curve. Catch the vibe, read the room, play chess, not dice. A real leader moves quiet, but precise. Rule 5, protect the squad, keep them tight. A snake in the crew can't poison the fight. Cut them off clean, don't let them linger. One fake vibe could pull the whole trigger. Rule 6, know your worth but know your flaws. A king ain't a king if he don't learn laws. Growth ain't weakness, it's the key to the crown. The higher you rise, the harder you hold it down. Rule 7, don't stunt, just play the role. Real bosses build empires, not just control. Rule 8, share the wins, don't hoard the bread. A team fed right won't turn their heads. Rule 9, be loyal, never snake your crew. The streets don't forgive when betrayal come through. Stay solid, stay real, stay real, stay real, stay real. 10 rules to lead, 10 rules to win. If you wanna hold the crown, better let that sink in. A real boss don't fake, don't fold, don't stray. Follow the code and you never lose your way. Rule 10, lead with love, not just power. Your team ain't your servants, they your flowers. Water them, grow them, watch them bloom. A leader's legacy is the seeds they groom. And that's the leader code. Rule 10, lead with love, not just power. Your team ain't your servants, they your flowers. Water them, grow them, watch them bloom. A leader's legacy is the seeds they groom. And that's the leader code.
They said I wouldn't make it, they laughed at my dream. Every move I made felt like swimming upstream. But yesterday I met a fan, eyes full of belief. In their gaze I saw the end to my grief.
Doubt didn't win, trust began. Looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I saw myself alive. I put in all the hours, climbed out from the dirt. They dissed and dismissed, said I'd always get hurt. Met a fan so loyal, reflections don't lie. My biggest supporter is just me in my mind.
Through the noise and shadows I held my ground. Bumps, bruises, broken, no comfort found. But that fan smile turned my world around. Now I'm rising sky high above the sound.
Doubt didn't win and trust I began. When I looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. 'Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you're having an amazing, amazing Sunday afternoon. Today is Sunday, January 26, 2025. We are about 5 days away from the end of January. We're almost at the end of the first month of 2025 already. Who could believe it? Who could believe it? Well, it doesn't matter what day it is. We are here to work. It doesn't matter what month it is. We are here to work. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are, above all else, engineered to win. So today's plan, we figured out that, let me see, where is this thing? All right. So we figured out that the issue that we were having with, or part of the issue that we're having with our Kubernetes deployment of the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data is that our Docker image for the front end of the app has issues. It's broken. So today we're going to work on fixing that Docker image, and then we're going to try to deploy it again on Kubernetes. So we'll get started the front end, or we'll get started the database, and we'll get started the API, so that they're working as they should from last week. Hopefully they still work. And we had issues with the front end where it's just getting us a blank page. We're going to work on fixing that up. So we're going to go into WebStorm. We're going to be editing some stuff, trying to get the image to build correctly. Maybe we're missing some files. I'm not sure yet, because I know that it worked on Google Cloud Platform. So we're gonna have to do some investigation. And then once we get that image working locally, then we're going to port it over to Minikube to see what happens. So that is the plan for today. Let me put our 2 hours up because I forgot again. I was like, you know what? Once the show starts, I have to put the 2 hours, but I forgot. So I'm going to put it officially now so we can finish around 5 o'clock. Boom, 2 hours up and running. All right, so that is the plan for today. But before we do that, let's get into our agenda. So first and foremost, I just want to say a big, big, big thank you so much to all of the subscribers who are helping the channel grow, my number one goal is to add value into your life with this tech stuff. Hopefully it resonates. Hopefully it makes sense. You might not understand everything, but hopefully it makes a little bit of sense and you start to understand, and maybe it sparks an interest into this tech space, because there are so many things that you can do. And for me, I enjoy it. That's why you see me do it every day. I'm learning different things, large language models, DevOps, ethical hacking, and more, right? So that's why you see me here just about every day, sharing with you, trying to add value to you. So hopefully I'm adding value. So thank you so much to all of the subscribers to the channel who are helping us grow day in and day out.
I appreciate you.
And I always have to say a big, big shout out to all of the Patreon members. We're growing, we're working. I just appreciate you guys so much. This week I'm going to be uploading our last Scrum night that we had, where I think it was just a sprint review, because don't tell me, I don't normally do this. But I gave my tech barbarians about 2 weeks off, right? So we had our sprint review, and I'm like, you know what? You guys get 2 weeks off, and we go from there. So it's going to be probably just the sprint review, and then maybe in 2 weeks, and again, I will be uploading our most recent Scrum night, where we had the sprint review, the planning, or the retrospective and the planning, all right? But shout out to my tech barbarians, shout out to my tech barbarians, right? You guys are amazing. You guys put in the work every single day. So I am so proud of you guys.
We the best.
And shout out to the tech mercenaries. Those are the YouTube members who keep the channel running. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are the life of the YouTube channel. So shout out to you guys.
Let's get it.
And I always have to say a big shout out and salute. Shout out to the bag chasers out there.
Money.
All right, so next up on our agenda, we have our next live is going to be tomorrow morning. We're going to jump back into the large language models. We're going to be starting to sign up for these different AI providers. So, we already have OpenAI, we already have ChatGPT. Pretty much everyone has ChatGPT. We're going to be exploring Gemini. We're going to be exploring, who makes it? Claude. We're going to be exploring Perplexity. All of those, we're going to sign up for them, navigate around, compare a little bit. So that's going to be the plan for tomorrow morning and most likely for Wednesday. Last episode, I wrote out what my plans are for creating this content creation workflow. So we're going to be looking into that. Let me see. And then we're going to have candid conversations tomorrow afternoon. And then we're going to be going live Tuesday night for Q&A, right? So that is the plan. That's our upcoming live streams and our upcoming premiere for the Candid Conversation. Candid Conversation, I'm going to be talking about why not all entry-level positions are created equally. I'm going to break down from my career pathway how my entry-level position led into another entry-level position, right? So it's shout out to Prince Marky D for sending me this LinkedIn post that was talking about entry levels in cybersecurity and how some people were like, I don't know if they're really entry level. So I'm going to break that down to give you guys the real on what entry level really is in the tech space. All right. So that is our upcoming live streams. That is our upcoming premiere tomorrow afternoon. And we also have the clips from different shows that is going to be released throughout the week. Sometimes I have some shorts as well. So hopefully I'm able to add value into you as that. All right. So with that being said, let me check the chat and then we are going to jump into the show because we got work to do. We have work to do. All right. So right now we have my guy Yakar in the chat. He says, Mr. Tech-Neek is in the building. Why is this over my face? Oh my goodness. Why is this so big? What's going on over here? Hold on. Let me fix this. Let's see here. Hold on. What's going on over here? Let's fix it. So by the way, I'm trying a whole new setup thing right now and I'm trying to get used to it. So please forgive me if anything looks weird today, but we are making it work and then we'll make it better, right? So shout out to my guy, Yakar, Mr. Tech-Neek in the building. Please say the dash. All right, well, with that being said, we are going to jump into it right away. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, let me start our first timer, our first working segment.
It's time to
All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start Minikube. Like I said, I'm going to make sure that our database is running and that our API is running, and then we'll maneuver from there, right? So, like I said, I'm trying this new setup. I'm a little weird right now, right? So, I mean, I'm a little weirder than normal, right? So, please forgive me. But like I said, we make it work, we make it better. Let's just jump over here so that we can actually start off our Minikube and stuff like that, right? So, I'm gonna go here. And I'm going to say, all right, so we're going to do Minikube start. And it's going to be starting the Minikube Docker container so that we can actually get it started. And then we're going to work on getting started the Mongo and the, let's see. So we're getting Mongo started and getting, what's the other one? The API, the backend started, right? So Minikube is started. Let's open up this tab right here and we will do, Minikube tunnel or CTL tunnel? Let me see. Minikube tunnel. All right, so it looks like our backend and Mongo is already started, but let's make sure. So what is the command? What is our command to make sure that this is started? We're going to do, let me see, it's going to be cube with a K, cube CTL, and it's going to be get services. Let's try with that. So kubectl get services, we have the Mongo running, right? We have our backend running, right? And that's about, there you go, cool. So we can test it out real quick. We can go to the other browser and we can go to the other window and we can see if we are able to access our API that way. So let me go over to here and we're gonna go to here and I'm just gonna do a get, right? Let's do a get. And it says no response. All right, well, let's do why is there no response on that? So let's do I'll make this bigger. All right, so let me see. Let's go back to over here. Let's do our Docker commands. Let's do a Docker PS. And we have the, so this is our regular Mongo that we normally use. And we have Minikube running here. So now the question is, oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's also start our Minikube. Actually, I'll start it on this one because then I'll just use this tab to do work on. All right, so let's do Minikube dashboard. And that's going to take over that. So, all right, so let's go back over here and let's take a look at what we got over here. So over here, we have where it says the backend is allegedly up and running. We have our Mongo up and running. Let me see, 6 days ago. Maybe I should do a restart. Maybe we should do a restart because I would expect the 3000 to work. Let me see. No response. Let's go back over here. Let me see, because trying to get, all right, so let's do kubectl get deployments. We have, okay, so nothing is up and running actually. So we need to actually restart these. It says that it's running in the services, but they're actually not running. So we need to, okay, what was that command to? All right, let's do I think we have to do a restart. So let's do let's do this, kubectl, and then we're gonna do help. And we're gonna look for run a particular image on a cluster, create, expose, set, explain, get, edit, delete, rollout, manage a rollout of a resource. Maybe let's try run. So let's do kubectl run. Let's do help from run. And then from runs, because help is going to tell you like what you can pass in for each step, right? So if I look up over here, let me see. From the run command, let's do this, clear. Let me do kubectl run help. I could probably do a rollout, but Just curious if what run is gonna do. So also a learning opportunity here. Let's see. So this is running an image on a pod, right? I don't want to do that. So let's try the kubectl. Let me do help again. And let me see what the rollout is going to do. We are going to say run a particular image cluster, create. So rollout of a resource. So let's do, all right, kubectl rollout help. And we would do restart. Okay, so cube rollout, restart, and then deployments, and then the name, right? So let's clear this out. kubectl. Is it roll? Is it like this? I don't remember what I saw. Restart and then deploys slash Mongo or UDC Mongo, something like that. Let me see. The server doesn't have a resource type deploy, so let's try deployments. All right, so Mongo restarted, right? So now if we were to go to kubectl get deployments. And now we have Mongo started. We have okay, so maybe it took some time for them to get started because now they're started, right? So the front end is not started because that one has issues, which we know of. So let's go back over to here. And if I was to do all right, cool. So we're good here. Although there is nothing in the database, which is weird, but okay. Let's see. I thought I put something in the database. If not, then I can always put something in the database afterwards. But that's cool. So we're good on that front. Let's go over here. Let me see how this is looking. Deployments. This is up. This is up. Our front end is not up, which is okay. It's expected. Our replica sets. Our back end is up. Cool. All right. I think we're in a good spot now. I think we're in a good spot. So let's go over to, let me see. Let's go over to working in Docker, right? Well, before we actually get into Docker, let me open up a new tab. And all right, the Docker PS. So I have the Mongo running. I have the this is the I don't even know I have this registry up, but we have so this is Kubernetes, right? Now we need to start up our Docker image for the front end. So we're going to have to do a little bit of investigation on what's going on. I'm going to open up WebStorm, right? And then I will do that. Let me see, where's my WebStorm, right? So there goes WebStorm. And this over here is this is the code for the front end, right? So let me take a look at, because this worked on Google Cloud Platform, right? This Docker image, but maybe there's something wrong with it. So let's look at the Docker file. I know we added this right here for the Google Cloud Platform. Maybe it's not needed. Maybe this expose 4,000 is also not needed. I'm not 100% sure. But let's think through it. If we were to say, so here it's copying the public folder. Let's see what's inside the public folder, because setting up the Docker image, you got to make sure that all the files are making it through. I think the first thing we're going to do some troubleshooting. I'm going to start the Docker image, and then I'm going to look around to see what exactly is wrong with it. So here we go. We need to get our environment file and so this React app. All right, so we're going to go like this. Let me move this over here. Let me move this over here. And we're going to do a Docker images dash, or just Docker images, right? And we're going to look for it should be this one right here, 6 days ago. I know the size isn't 1 gig for this. Hold on. That's crazy. There's no way that it should be this big. Something is making it be way bigger than it should be. Yeah, something's wrong. Let's see. That might be part of the problem because this is way too big of a Docker image for this, just the front end. All right, so we have some work set off for us to do to figure out why this file is so damn big, this Docker image. Because, yeah, that's weird. This makes sense for Kibana. 913. This is big. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, so let's try to start up this image and see what happens. I didn't know that this file was so big, so let's see what we can do. Let me go down here. We will do Docker run, and we need to say I'm gonna run it so that I can see everything that's coming in, and we're gonna do Docker run, and we're gonna say the E for the, is it dash E or is it just E? We'll try both. So E for environment variable, and it's going to be we can just copy this line right here, and we're going to paste that right there, and we're going to say port, and we would say port, maybe I'll say port for I'll go for 8,000 and map that to port 3,000, and we'll say a name for UDECFE. I'll just put TCR at the end just because there might be another image named that already. And then I think that's everything. So we have our port, we have our environment variable, we have I don't want it to be detached, and I want it to be on UDEC-FE. Let's see what happens with that command. It's starting. All right, so it has started, right? So now if we go over into our browser, I think I used port 8,000. So what we can see here is that it started not in detached mode. Let's go back over to here and we take a look at, it's going to be localhost 8,000. And we have a blank screen, which is what I expected because that's what we saw last week. But I want to take a look at what's coming into the console. It says that the OpenAI key environment variable is missing or empty. Either provide it or instantiate an OpenAI client. Would the OpenAI key cause that? WebSocket connection to, because I don't know if the OpenAI key, I don't know if the OpenAI key would cause this, right? But we can fix that. The WebSocket connection to WS localhost W has failed. And then get client rect is not a function. Where is that one coming from? This is probably the issue right here. I would guess this is the issue right here. Because the app should be able to start up regardless. And app starts up, if I start it locally, it's going to work. So I think something is not being copied over into the, let me see, content.js. Let's see what this, let me Google this real quick. Let's see what this means. I'm trying to create a custom toolbar. Let me see. Another another possibility, as mentioned in the GitHub issue, is to include. I don't know about this one. Because why on the Docker image would it not work? Let me do Docker image. Because if we go to here and we were to start up the application normally, and we were to say yes, it's going to start up the application here, right? And if I do a search, because it's probably going to be using the, there's probably going to be nothing that shows up because it's probably going to be using the Kubernetes API, which has nothing in the database. So if I do a search for jobless, maybe. And let me see, console. Empty response. Let me look at the network. 204, no content. Response. That's probably because it's trying to use the Kubernetes one. Let's see. Strict origin when cross origin. What is this 204 status code? All right. But yeah, there's nothing in the database anyways for it to return. So
lunch break.
What I'm probably gonna I'm gonna try to do this, right? So when we get back, what I'm gonna try to do, I'm going to restrict the OpenAI. I'm gonna turn off like comment out the OpenAI key to see if that's going to give me the same errors, right? Because I'm not passing the OpenAI key, that's why we're having the issue. We'll see. We shall see, right? But we will go to break now. I'm gonna go to full screen, and we are on break. Let me see. So let me check the chat real quick, and we have my best friend is in the building.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
I got my guy Mitch in the building. Mitch says, maybe I should read it before I actually bring it up, but I'm a risky person, right? It says, lucky me, people that don't with me are linking up with people that don't with me. Mitch, I have absolutely no idea what you are talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. But Mitch also says, but my urge for revenge is uncontrollable. My goodness, Mitch. What happened? Mitch, Mitch, I have a question for you, Mitch. I have a question for you. The question is,
Have you no empathy, man?
my goodness, Mitch, what's going on? What did you eat or drink yesterday, Mitch? But as always, Mitch, I am so happy to have you here. All right, so what I want to talk about during our first break for today is this, right? I'm gonna do this right here. Let me go here, boom. So why is it that we always have to sabotage our own success? Why do we always have to sabotage our own success, right? So I'm going to tell you a quick little thing, right? So somebody that I'm working with, coaching and stuff like that. We've been trying for so long to get our foot in the door. And it's like I think what happens is, and this happens to so many people, right? It's like you start to get around a new crowd, and then you start to let the mindset, the groupthink, to sabotage you instead of looking. Okay, you have a new opportunity, you're in a new role, a new industry. Why aren't you trying to make the most of that opportunity? Why are we so, I don't know. I think that we are so negative in all the things that we do, all the things that we say. And it's like, why don't we embrace the opportunities that are given to us? A lot of times, the things that we get, especially starting off, we didn't deserve them. People are taking a chance on us, and then we kind of like, instead of embracing the people to take a chance on us, we start to see what other people like, why other people might not like them, and then we go that route. I'm like, why do we sabotage our own success? Why do we push away the things that are good for us? Like all right, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? A lot of the dreams that we had when we were kids, they probably weren't that good, right? They might seem like, oh, you follow your dreams. Like your mom might have told you that, your dad might have told you that, and then you fly out to LA. You want to be maybe a movie actress or something like that, and you fly out to LA and you try to be around the in crowd, and now you end up in all types of situations that you should have never been in the first place. And I'm like, why don't we embrace opportunities that are given to us? We don't know what we don't know. We don't know what path that we're going to be going into, right? People go to school for God knows what, getting these ridiculous degrees that if you're not going to hustle and start your own business, and some degrees that people get, the best that they can do with them is maybe start a podcast, and hopefully people care about what they have to say, right? But then there's other people who get degrees that, well, those degrees are worth it. They're going to pay, and you can go from career to career. Like you can really elevate your career, right? So then by chance, I won't say by chance, but you can end up in an opportunity, and I ended up in that same opportunity where, because I was open-minded to say, hey, do you want to try web design? I'm like, sure. And now web design led to QA, which I still do web design, but it led to QA, led to automation, it led to DevOps, it led to me learning so many different things here, right? But that's because I've always been open-minded. I'm like, oh, this is not what I dreamed up when I was 5 years old. I really don't remember or care what I thought about when I was 5 years old. I was a child at the time, right? How does it say, like, when I was a child, I did childish things? Is that how it goes, Rod Brown? When I was a child, I did childish things? Share me the verse, Rod Brown. What is the verse? When I was a child, I did childish things, right? But when I grew up, I put those childish things away. So I'm not chasing my childhood dreams. I wanted to be in the NBA when I was a kid, right? Mitch, every day I see Mitch shoots that dream down. And with good reason, with good reason. Now, as we grow, and if when we were, 18, 19, 20, 21, we tried to quote unquote follow our dreams, and our dreams turned into nightmares, rejection after rejection after rejection. And now we have the opportunity, we're given the opportunity to explore new spaces. And we're just like, oh, but I didn't like what this person said to me. I didn't like what that person said to me. Right? I'm like, well, you're in a new industry. Why don't you see if you can run it up in this industry? See me, I never cared.
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
I never cared about the industry and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm in tech. I'll run it up in tech. But because I just had a exploratory mindset, I was looking to figure things out. But I didn't like. I just wanted to be able to make money and grow, right? Whether I ended up in like software development, QA, whatever, I was going to rise in that field. But I was given opportunities that they didn't have to give me. Honestly, if I think back about it, it was because I got a pirated copy of Macromedia Studios back in like 2003, 2004 from one of my instructors. And that one pirated copy of Macromedia changed my life. Because I could have went into like, networking and looking for A+ certification, working on, fixing computers, networking, CCNA type stuff. But I got an opportunity one place and I just took off with it. So I'm like, look at the opportunities that you have. Don't throw stuff away because of what other people's experiences are. It might be for you. It might be for you, but we need to stop with the negative mindset. The second we think we don't like something, you don't know. Be open-minded, explore. Maybe this might be your opportunity to do great things. If, and only if we really want to do great things. All right. So that's my thoughts. That is my thoughts on it. We really need to stop sabotaging our success. That is my message to you for this Sunday afternoon. How about that? All right. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we shall get back to our next 20 minutes of work. Hopefully we can get out of here early today. I've had a long weekend. I still have a lot of work to do. So, Mitch also said that, says, I gotta get him back though. It's non-negotiable. Oh my goodness, Mitch. Are you rapping? Mitch, do I need to create you know what, Mitch? I'm going to go back and I'm going to take these to prompt a new song. And then sometime during the week, I'm going to make a song off your lyrics. And then I'm going to give you credit for your song. And I will even share in the royalties for this song with you, Mitch. I got you. And Mitch says 2K subs. What? Who got 2K subs? Who got what? Oh, I didn't even notice. Want to know what my greatest fear is, though, Mitch? This is my greatest fear. This is my greatest fear with 2K subs, right? If you're like at 2K on the dot, right, and then something or someone unsubscribes, and then now it goes back to 199, and you're like, what? So that's why I'm like, let's get it to like 2K plus a couple, right? So that way it looks like, because that way, you know how bad it would look like you're all happy about 2K, and then it's like, oh, somebody unsubscribed, and now it's down to 199 again. Bruh. That's my fear. It says, there was one point in my life I didn't realize I was scared of success, scared of how good I can be. And Mitch is amazing. Mitch is great. So, Mr. Data Analyst, Mitch got managers fighting for him, like literally like fist fighting for him. They're like, you want to take this outside? Do you want to take this out? Do you want to catch these hands? You know what? I almost played Catch These Hands of Love, And we got my guy, Rod Brown, in the building. What up, Rod Brown? I am so looking forward to your channel this week, Rod Brown. I know you're going to be dropping some amazing things. And Rod Brown knows the struggles that I've been going through the past couple of days. I think because I've been trying to make these changes, that's why I'm a little backed up in the things I'm trying to do. But you know, we're gonna make it work. We're going to make it work regardless. All right. And Mitch helped me out with the alley oop, which I cannot slam dunk, but I can say it's when I was a child, I spoke as a child.
Let's get it.
But when I grew up, I had to put childish things behind. And Mitch says, I'm unsubbing. Oh, shucks. There it goes. That's my fear. That's my fear, you know? And we got Maddox in the building. What's up, Maddox? How are you doing over on the Twitch side of the game? He says, will there be any Twitch love today? I love my Twitch people. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Maddox. My numbers on Twitch are slowly but surely growing. You know, some different people finding it. The thing with Twitch, it's more of a you know, it's mainly for gaming. So this tech stuff, it takes some time to get some traction, right? But I appreciate it. I appreciate it nonetheless. So shout out to my guy Maddox on the Twitch side. Mitch says, I'm not all Mitch is not all foolishness. Don't let the jokey jokes fool you. Mitch is about his business. All right. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to jump into the next 20 minutes of the show. We're going to be working on trying to figure out the what's going on with our image, why it's not starting correctly and stuff like that, right? Let's go to, all right, let me start up this 20 minutes.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, so let's go over to here. And I am going to turn that off for now. I'm going to try it should just, maybe not. Let me rebuild it. Let's see if it messes up when we don't have our open API key. So maybe that's what it is, because when we go over here, our OpenAI API key is missing, and it tells us that it tells us
Do not come.
fair enough. Fair enough. So now I wonder if we can let's do this. Let's do a little bit of research. Can we do pass.env file into Docker run? Because if I can do that, then that would be super easy for me to do. Let's go to, so I can do a --env file, image command. Oh, okay, so let's do that. Let's try that, right? So let's go over here. And we're gonna go to, let's stop this. Stop that. How do I? Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes this is so weird. All right, there we go. Let's go to Docker PS. And let's clear that out. We're going to go up and we're gonna do, so actually no, we need to do CD, go into the WebStorm projects and Urban Dictionary app. All right, so in here, if we do Docker, so if I didn't have the AI stuff in there, then it probably would have started. But let's do run or Docker. See Docker RM. So let's remove the Mongo UDEC FE TCR. Oh, it's running. All right, Docker stop UDEC FE TCR. And then we're going to remove it. And we're going to say so here instead of passing in this right here, might get a little bit tricky when we're doing it on the Kubernetes. So we'll have to do some research on that, right? But env-file and then .env. Let's see if this works. So port 8000. All right, started. So if I go over to here, and we go to this one and I refresh. So it still says the open. Oh, of course, right? Of course, because I didn't comment it. I didn't take off the. It's still commented off, right? So if we go back over here and we do all right, and we're gonna stop that again. If I do a stop, I should be able to just do a start, right? Docker start udec fe tcr, because it should still be the same parameters. Okay, it started. If we go over to here now and we refresh, it still says, why is the OpenAI key not showing up? OpenAI API key. Let's investigate the code a little bit. It says the OpenAI API key environment variable is missing, either provided or instantiated. Well, we'll do this first. Before I even do that, let's just go and stop this again. Docker stop udec fe tcr. Let's do that. And let's go to Docker rm udec fe tcr, just to make sure that this is what the issue is. I wanna cover all bases first, because there is a .env file in there. Make sure. ls. No, there is not a .env file in there. Why is there not? Hold on. Let's cover all this. So there. Oh, okay, because ls-a. All right, there goes the .env file. Okay, so it is in there. So with that being said, let me try to start it up again. Docker run .env file. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to do some more investigation inside the code to see what the heck is going on. All right, so if we go back over to here, we enter. Okay, there we go. So all right, so that it was that. So that starts. So it was the OpenAI key missing that was causing it not to work. We should probably do something where if the OpenAI key isn't provided, then to skip the AI. Like, let's say the OpenAI key isn't provided, then let's just not show the whole. Let's not show the whole customize your experience section, right? I don't know if there's something to do today, but let me go back over here. If I go to because what I use on the definition page. And if I go to open AI, OpenAI API key. And so I would say if this isn't provided, then don't show this section right here. But let's not worry about that for now because we know how to get it to start. Let's take a look at how can we get the environment variable or the .env file into our kubectl environment, right? So let's go over to here and we say Kubernetes deployment .env file. Let's see. Let's say pass.env file into Kubernetes deployment. How do I pass environment variable? I don't want the environment variable though. I want Kubernetes equivalent of env file in Docker. Let's see what this has to say. Decoupling application code from its data is the best practice for development. Enables, okay. So using the env file in Docker, very common for injecting environment variables inside a Docker container by using a .env file. This is a text file that can, okay, we got that. So it's a config map, okay. When managing your containers with Kubernetes, we use what we call a config map to pass environment variables. Config maps are Kubernetes API objects that we use to store configuration data. Then we can use this data inside the container by referencing the config map inside our pod spec. Unlike in env file, config maps are not just plain text with key value pairs. Since config maps are Kubernetes objects, we call them by using a YAML manifest. We can add our key value pair to data sections inside the manifest. We have our manifest file. Let's deploy the config map to the cluster using kubectl. Now our config map, my config map is created in Kubernetes cluster. So next we need to create our pod and reference this config maps to start using it. So if we do, let me see, because we could just pass. Well, let me try something real quick, right? Just so we can get this started, right? Could we just pass an invalid? Could we pass an invalid OpenAI key just so we can see it start, right? Because that's the main goal. And then once we have that done, then we can figure out, okay, what do we do next, you know? So let me see what we can do. Let's go here. So we know what the issue is. Let's say we were to do, how do we do I always forget how to do the environment variables. I think it was set env. So if we were to do UDEC or kubectl UDEC, no, kubectl set help. Look at that, set help, set env, update environment variable to a pod template. Images, update the image of the pod template, resources. So we were to say, it would be kubectl set env dash dash help. From here, we say specify a key value pair for environment variable to set into each container. Containers. So if we say env, so set env pods list. All right, so list the variable defined on a deployment sample build. Oh, I could do a list. Let's try that actually. So if we do, so update deployment registry with a new environment variable. Oh, so let's do a list real quick, right? So if we do kubectl set env deploy, is it deploys or deployment slash udec fe and list. All right, so we have that on port 3500. All right, so now if we were to do, the udec, kubectl set env. Let me look at this again. Deployment and then it'd be React OpenAI key. So it'll be set env. All right, so it's gonna do deployment slash udec fe, and then we're going to go to over here, copy this one, and it's going to equal, I just say ABC 1, 2, 3, right? Because as long as there's a key, even if it's wrong, I suppose it should do something, right? Let's do that. All right. So if we do the list again, we have our React Open API key. We have our the URL for the database. Let's clear that. Let's do a UDEC, or keep on saying UDEC, kubectl set, and we have environment. We have images, resources, selector. Where do we set the port? So let's say, I remember where we set the port. Kubectl expose help. So expose says target port, name or number of port on container that the service should direct traffic to, which is optional. This port, the port that the service should serve on, copied from the resource being exposed if unspecified. So we could say, okay, so let's do clear kubectl get services. 3,000. So why did I have it as, let's say get services, let's say we do get service UDEC-B. All right, so kubectl get service help. Let's see, show kind. I wish I could see the port though. Why can I not see the port? So let's try this, right? We'll do kubectl and we shall go to restart rollout UDEC-FE, or let's say deployment / UDEC-FE. Or maybe I put it backwards, rollout and then restart. Getting those two confused quite a bit. Restart. And there we have it. So now if we do what? What's going on here? Hold on. Who's lost? Okay, let me make sure the internet connection is good because I just lost the X people. Let me see, make sure the internet connection is good. Let me see, give me a second.
Lunch break, lunch break.
Oh, give me a second. Give me 1 second before this thing drops off. Let's see here. All right, at the same time, we're on break. So let's go to break. And let me try to make sure this internet connection does not die on us. And we should be good. We should be good. Cool. All right, let me see. Make sure. Oh, we should be good. We should be good. See, look at that. So, all right, we are at break. When we get back, we'll try it. We'll see what happened if it was able to start with the fake OpenAI key. We'll go from there, right? But let me check the chat and then we shall continue on with the show. We see, all right, so Mitch says, tell people to subscribe to get you that money. On Twitch, yes. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get more. I'm trying to get more different platforms going on. All right. Let me see. We got Me Mystify in the building. Says good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well, Me Mystify. How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you're having a great day. All right. And hopefully you're staying warm. It's warming up down here in South Florida. I don't know how it is for you up in Detroit up there. Let me see. And Mitch says that it just gets to a point. I feel you, Mitch. I understand what you are saying. All right. And let me see. And I wanted to highlight this as well. Rob Brown says that appreciate Me Mystify's videos. I 100,000% second that. I certainly do appreciate your videos as well, Me Mystify. So keep up the good work. Keep them coming. I know and I'm sure it's tough when it's cold up there, but we do appreciate it. So keep up the good work. Let me see. Mystify says I need to drop something new and get out of my creation slump. Me Mystify, you use my music test some apps out, test some speakers out, do whatever you want. Like you can, whatever I have, you can use, all right? But just get out of the slump. Get out of the slump, all right? Let me see. All right, cool. All right. So what I want to do on this break, right? I want to actually look for different job roles that use Docker, right? Because I'm wondering which roles use Docker more. Is it more on the software engineer side, or is it more on the DevOps side? Because as you see here, as we're trying to deploy, we ran into an issue, which to me is more of a software. Why is it a software engineer issue? It could be a software engineer issue because maybe I should have said if the OpenAI key does not exist, then ignore it and not show the AI components of the application. But if a DevOps person is going to deploy it, should they have the OpenAI key that should be used? So I don't know, but I didn't want to investigate which roles use Docker more. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up a browser over here. I'm going to put up a 5 minutes on here and open up a browser. And I'm going to search which role uses Docker more. Which roles use Docker more? Or which roles use Docker more? So it says the roles that most heavily use Docker are DevOps engineers, as they primarily responsible for automating and the software development lifecycle, including building, deploying, and managing applications within containers, which Docker facilitates effectively. Other roles that frequently use Docker would be software developers to create isolated development environments and ensure consistent application behavior. To create all right, so we read that. System admins or sysadmins for managing infrastructure and deploying applications in standardized manner using containers, cloud architects for designing scalable cloud-based applications leveraging Docker containerization and capabilities. So if you're using Kubernetes, you're definitely going to be using Docker. All right, I don't need the reasons why to use Docker, but reproducible environment, simplified deployment, scalability, isolation, great, right? So now they say DevOps engineers use it more, which I think it's fair if a company has DevOps engineers, but a lot of times companies might just build in the DevOps practices into the software engineers workflow, where the software engineers are responsible for deploying. Because I deploy all the time, like every day I'm deploying something new for the most part, right? I just take on that role as the QA engineer who, like, after I finish testing, I give my final sign off and all right, let me go and deploy it. Some companies, they won't allow, due to regulations and stuff, it has to be a different team that's doing the deployment, and that's why they might specifically need DevOps engineers. So my guess would be banking would need that, healthcare, pharmaceuticals. Like if you're building software for those industries, you would probably need to have that different level of separation. You know, so. That being said, what I'm going to do, I am going to actually pull up. I wonder if this is going to work. All right, I'm going to go to LinkedIn, and I'm going to go to the job section, and I'm going to say remote. All right, so if we go over here, and I search for, let's just search for Docker. What do we find in their Docker? So I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm just gonna like skim through these real quick. But for this QA engineer, junior QA engineer, let me see. Good to know, good knowledge of English. Where is this even located? Let's see. Full stack engineer training program at CVS Health. What in the world does that mean? I gotta look at this. Hold on one second. So a full stack engineer training program. We are, all right, about this business area. If you're looking for a 2-year program to learn how to code and become a full stack automation engineer, good news, CVS Health, Information Security and Technology Solutions and Organization in IT, What you will do, assist in the support of existing applications and or development efforts, writing high quality code compliant with enterprise. What in the world? Required qualifications: 1 year of experience, academic or professional, in a relevant IT position. 6 months of experience programming, developing, and coding. Preferred qualifications: technical qualifications, experience with commonly used software engineering and design tools, Python, PowerShell, YAML, continuous integration, continuous deployment, Agile, Jenkins, GitHub, experience with cloud concepts and providers, verifiable high school diploma or a GED, boot camps, academies, etc. seriously considered. Bachelor's degree in computer science or software engineering, management, information systems, or related degree preferred. This is interesting. So are you working for them, or I don't know, I'm a little confused by this position. I'm a little confused by this position, to be honest with you. Anyways, let's continue. So I searched for
back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
So a full stack software engineer. I'm just gonna do a search for the word Docker. Is Docker in here? Nope. I don't see anything for Docker in here. Let's see. Staff software development engineer and test. All I see is principal AI engineer. I don't know. So now if I search for DevOps engineer, and let's take a look at this first role. Azure DevOps, CI/CD, Terraform, AWS Lake Infrastructure. Docker? I don't even see Docker in this one. See infrastructure DevOps engineer. Docker. All right, so this one, this infrastructure DevOps engineer for Jabot, has Docker in there. Strong skills with Docker and Kubernetes. See this one. Let me reduce the experience level, right? DevOps engineer for motion recruitment. So eligible for DoD security clearance. How many years of experience do they want on this though? Because I put entry level and internship. They don't say. But collaborate on the designing architecture of systems that integrate multiple AI models, backend APIs, and front-end web application. This company is located in DC metro area, will remain 100% remote. Interesting. I'm gonna save this job. I'm gonna send this to Magnetar because this might interest Magnetar. Let me do copy that, a new tab. That might interest Magnetar. Let me see. Let me look at 2 more. So Motion Recruitment has a lot of DevOps jobs. Jenkins DevOps engineer. 1 to 3 years of experience. A BS in computer science, engineering, or related field. Let me help you guys a little bit. I had to do this yesterday for you guys, right? I'm gonna do it again. Or a 6-month boot camp. All right, there you go. There you go. Right. I know a lot of people go into boot camps for DevOps and stuff like that, so I just fixed it for you. Or a 6-month boot camp, right? Ability to commute to ITL office. 1 to 3 years of, so 1 to 3 years of experience. That's not bad in engineering. That's not bad. 1 more. $30 an hour in Tampa for BrookSource. Design, implement, maintain CI/CD pipelines using Azure DevOps. Let me see. Oh, look at that. Understanding of containerization technologies, Docker, Kubernetes. Experience with infrastructure as code, Terraform, ARM templates. PowerShell, Python, or shell scripting. Look at that. So far, right? Let me see. 2 to 4 years experience in DevOps or similar role. Strong experience with Azure DevOps, including pipeline configuration and management. So knowledge of Git. See, all the stuff that we do here, that's what they're asking for, right? This right here, container. We're actually working on Docker and Kubernetes today. We've done Terraform a lot in the past. We actually did a Terraform course. We do Python all the time. We don't do PowerShell because I'm not on Windows, but we do a little bit of shell scripting. Let me see. Pretty cool. All right. Anyways, let's go back to full screen. Let's go back to full screen. Let me check the chat to see if anything new came in, and then we will get to some more work. We're doing great on time today, so let me see. Cool, we're good. Let me take a sip and of water. Get this off the screen. All right. Let's throw up another 20 minutes on the clock, and then let's continue on.
It's time to do.
So we are over here. I can find my mouse, and I'm gonna do Docker, not Docker. I'm gonna do kubectl get deployments, and we are still failing on this one. We did the rollout though. Oh, you know what? I actually know why. Because what in the world? Hold on a second. What is this? Not sure what that was. All right. We did the roll. We didn't push it to our. What in the world's going on over here? Give me a second. We didn't push it to our Docker repository yet. So we have to do that as well. So let me see. I can stop this one because we know this is working. All right, let's do clear. So if we do Docker images, we have this one, right? So technically our image is good. We didn't have any Docker issues, but because we didn't have the open API key being passed in, that's what was causing the issue. So if we do clear, we do Docker tag udec-fe with tech coach Ralph /udec-fe. That should do it. Docker images. And if I search for, all right, there we go here. Okay, latest. So if I do clear Docker push udec or techo Ralph -udec, nope, -udec-fe. I don't know why it's so big though. I have to investigate why my container image is so big, or why my image is so big for the front end. I don't believe it should be that big. Like almost a gig. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. Wait for it to push it up. I remember when we were doing Terraform that the Terraform files were being pushed up as well. I wonder if it's copying the node modules as part of it, because it shouldn't do that. Let me see. I don't have maybe that's what it is. Let me do, I'm gonna do, while I'm here, new file. I'm gonna call it .docker ignore. And it should say, oh, but I'm not copying. In my Docker file, I say copy the public domain, the public folder, the source folder and the package.json file into this folder. I'm not sure why the file is so big, but anyways, let's go over here. All right, so it's pushed, I believe. Let's see. All right, so we're done here. So if we were to do over here, well, before we do that, let's go to this. Let's go over here because I need to search how to make Kubernetes get the latest image. So get latest image Kubernetes for deployment, or pull latest image, I should say. Or Kubernetes, how to make deployment update image. All right, there we go. So we would say another trick is to initially run set image and then set image my container. It will actually be triggering the rolling update, but be sure to have the image pull policy set to always. Based on this comment, if you have version 1.5, you can use the command kubectl rollout restart deployment. That should do it. Well, let's try it. I thought we. Well, no, that's not what we just did because before we pushed it, we did that. So let's go back over here and let's try that again. Just go up this way. So rollout restart. Let's see what happens. It just, I don't know. It just restarted too quick. Like I don't feel like it pulled it, and that was updated on the 19th. Well, let's see. kubectl get deployment. Get deployments. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it. I think we need to find a way to we need to find a way to. When was this answered? That's too long ago. Let's see. Force Kubernetes to repull an image. How about that one? But that's through the. All right, so let's do this. Let's do kubectl set help, and we take a look at we're looking. All right, so image, update the image of the pod to, maybe that's what it is. Maybe we just need to update the image. So if we do kubectl set image dash dash help, we would say update image. Let's see. So we could do deploy. Set a deployments NGX container to NGX. Maybe I can just do. Maybe I can do latest. Set image. Deploy, or maybe set image. Set image deployment. So set image deployment. All right, so it would be something like this. Set image deployment / UDEC F-FE, and then it would be it would be, what is this? Tech coach Ralph / UDEC-FE 2 equal coach Ralph / UDEC-FE : latest. Couldn't find a container named. Let's see. Okay, that worked. So if we clear this out and we try the rollout again. All right. So if we go and we do Docker, not Docker, I keep saying Docker. I'm so used to Docker. kubectl get deployment. Maybe I should just get rid of it altogether. Let's do that. I'm gonna get rid of it. So kubectl get services. So I don't even have the backend started. That's fine. So if I say, all right, so kubectl delete deployment / UDEC, or is it like this? Deployment UDEC-FE. All right, so that's deleted. Now we're going to say, so I'm going to do Docker get, I keep saying Docker, kubectl get deployments. All right, now we're going to do UDEC. No, we're going to do kubectl create deployment UDEC-FE. Let me do a help real quick because I'm trying to remember. We do rep -r equals 3, and we would do -- image. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Oh wait, I can do the port here and expose port 5701. Expose port. I'm gonna expose port 40. 80. I'll do 8500, right? So I can do the port right here. So if we do, so we'll do replicas 3. We'll do the image and we'll do the port. All right. So let me start writing this out. It's going to be kubectl create deployment UDEC-FE, and we're going to say -- image equals tech coach Ralph / UDEC-FE : latest, right? Then we're going to say, we will say -r equals 3 for replicas, 3 replicas, and we're going to say, is it -p -port equals 45, or let's go 8500. Let's see what happens. So it's created. Now we have to set the environment variables for that deployment. kubectl, and we're going to say set env equals, no, set env deployment / UDEC-FE, And we're going to say this one. And if we were to say, how could I do multiple though? I'll do this one first, right? So we'll set this one and I'll figure out the other one afterwards. So we have that environment variable. And we could also do this one. Equals ABC 1, 2, 3. And we do that. So now if we do cube CTL set env deployment slash udec dash fe list. Oh, come on. Darn typos. Cube CTL. So we have both in here, right? OpenAI API key. We have our why is that on 3000 now? I thought it was on 3500 before. Let me set this to I thought it was supposed to be 3500. All right, so now if we do Docker, I keep saying Docker, geez, cube CTL, and we say cube CTL, roll out restart, deployment slash udec fe, enter, says restarted, okay. Now we do cube CTL get deployment. Oh, is it accurate? Is it accurate? I don't know. Fearing for my life here. Let me try. I don't believe it. Let's just do it again. Oh my God, it's almost there. It is almost there. What? Say what? Well, maybe we're celebrating a little bit prematurely, right? Let's find out. Let's go over here. And I'm going to go to, so this is the, what is this? Let's do localhost : 8500, I think. What was the port that I used? Oh, wait a second. Although it's showing that it's up and running, I'm gonna do it one more time. It shows that it's up and running, right? We need to expose it, right? We need to expose it. So if we do clear cube CTL get services, we do not have the service being exposed right now for it. So if we do cube CTL expose udec-be and type equals load balancer. Was there something else I was supposed to put on this one? I don't remember. Let's give it a go. Should be FE instead. Let's try slash deployment. Okay, so it's exposed. Let's see. Cube CTL get services. All right, everything is being exposed. We're on port. Ooh, maybe this might be wrong because this has 3000, this has 8500. I might have to go back and update that, but we might still be able to see if the site is up though. It is not showing as up. Maybe my port is messed up. It is showing. Okay, I think I know. All right, so let's look at our dashboard. So deployments are up. Replica sets are up, but there's a pod that's failing. But I think I have I think I have the ports messed up though. I think I have the ports messed up. So let's go back over here. And we will go to, let me think. Well, we're about to go to break. We are about to go to break, but I think we could squeeze in one more segment on this. Let me see.
Lunch break, lunch break.
I think we're close to. I think I need to make this go to 3,000 though, and then expose a port for 8,500. I'll figure it out. We'll do one more segment. We have time. We have time for one more segment, but let's go to break. We are at break. Let me see. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will continue along. Let's see what we got going on here. Let me see. No, too close. All right, cool. So let's see what we got real quick. Mitch says to be mindful we go through rough times at some point. You will know when you're ready to get back. Just don't wait too long. Stop worrying about the views. Just do you. 100% agree with Mitch. 100% agree with Mitch. Do you, and you know the interest will follow. So I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. I agree 100% with Mitch. Every now and then, which is more often than not, Mitch is dropping gems. When he's not beating people up or looking for his heart, he is dropping gems. Shout out to my guy Mitch. What we can do, we can spend. Let's do a quick. We'll spend like 2 minutes. I'm not even gonna put a timer up, right? I'm not even gonna put a timer up, but I want to spend a couple of minutes again looking at these roles, right? So let's go over here. Look at that real quick, right? But we'll definitely squeeze in one more 20-minute segment. So FICO, isn't FICO the credit union people, or not the credit, but the credit score people? Let me see. Like I said, like for financial stuff, DevOps is definitely going to be needed. The principal software engineer is hiring for this DevOps engineer role. It is remote from here, but let me see. Design, implement, and maintain Kubernetes clusters in AWS environment. I definitely want to get into AWS environments. I definitely want to get into the Google Cloud environment and eventually the Azure. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I am not a federal employee. I don't really care as much about Azure, but you know. Let me see. Proficiency in Kubernetes, manage, administration, and deployment. How many years of experience are they looking for? I don't see. Target base pay for this role is 105 to 165. That doesn't sound very entry level-ish to me. Experience with Tekton for building CI/CD. Interesting. Let me see what else they have. Cloud operations engineer for DevOps. Let me see. Strong Terraform knowledge, experience with Google Cloud Platform or AWS maintenance, experience with infrastructure as code tools, Ansible, CloudFormation, Terraform. So Ansible is part of the course that we are going through, right? Let me see. Bachelor's degree in computer science or any IT related fields. I always say here it's also for equivalent experience, right? Because sometimes if you have enough experience, these companies will swap out the requirement that they have for bachelor's with the experience that you have. Because at the end of the day, experience trumps anything else, you know. Let me see. Familiar with implementing CI/CD pipelines. This is pretty good. Let me see. Let's take a look at this one. All right. All right. Let's take a look at this junior DevOps role at Banyan Software in Chicago, Illinois. Let's see. Location, Houston. Remote candidates will be considered. Infrastructure management. Work with development, QA, and operations to understand their workflow and identify areas for automation. Understanding the CI/CD tools, TeamCity, Jenkins, GitLab, GitHub Actions. And like, I don't know, like I work on a bunch of this stuff, even outside of work, even with my tech barbarians, like having them learn GitHub, running playwright tests on GitHub and stuff like that. Cool. All right, let's before time is up, let's do another 20-minute segment to try to figure this thing out, right? Because I think we're very, very close. It would be nice to wrap up this so that we can move on next week to something else. But we're gonna let's try to wrap it up, right? Let's try to wrap it up. And Mitch says that I haven't been talking about fighting lately. That is true. That I don't know what's going on with you, Mitch. I don't know what's going on with you. But when you're ready to throw them hands, we are ready to catch them hands. All right, Mitch? We're always ready to catch them hands. All right, let's do one last 20-minute segment.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, so I think where I messed up was on the port. I think so. But I wonder if the port is 3000, but it's on a different pod. I don't know. I'm a little confused because it's like all of them are going to be using the same ports. Or if you do that target port thing. Let's try this. Let me delete the service. kubectl delete service udec-fe kubectl delete deployment udec-fe. And let's clear this. We're going to go back up to here. Actually, no. I'm going to do kubectl create deployment help. And we have the image. We output. So expose port 5701. So we're going to expose port 3000 on this one because that's where it's going to. And then we can do this. Okay, so let's try to do. Let's go up to here. Create deployment. Let's do the port 3000, right? Because if I go and I look at our thing over here, so our UDEC dash FE is gone, right? So if we go back over here, we create it again. And now we're going to set our cube CTL set. Oh, that's showing set env dash or deployment slash udc dash fe dash list. Selectors. Oh, oops. Dash list. So there's nothing there, right? So now let's do our set our variable. I'm going to move that to 3000. And we're going to say, okay. And then we're going to also do the OpenAI API key. We got that. And then we will say kubectl roll out restart deploy slash udc fe. All right, it's restarted because they started to fail because they didn't have the information. It's restarted. So now to expose, but we have to expose it with the right port, right? So before we do that, let's take a look at kubectl get deployment, right? Deployments. All right, so that's coming up. Let's see if this is going to restart and have all of them come up. All right, so these are all up, right? Now we need to, so if we do, clear that out, or do it one more time actually. Make sure that they're all up. All right, they're still up, right? If we look over here, everything is green, okay? Now the challenge is how, all right, so let's do kubectl expose help. So if we do expose, we do the name or number for the port on the container that the service should direct traffic to is optional. I think that's what we have to do. The port that the service should serve on, copied from the resource being exposed. The port that the service should serve on. I'm debating between these two. Let me check what the target port is, right? Let's go here. What is target port in Kubernetes? The difference between port, I think we looked this up before, but let's see. So service, this directs traffic to a pod. Target port, this is the actual port on which your application is running inside the container. The port, sometimes your application inside a container serves different services on different ports. Example, the actual container can run on, the actual application can run on port 8080, and health checks for this application can run on 8089 of the container. But if you hit the service without port, it doesn't know which port on the container should redirect the request to. Service needs a mapping so that it can hit the specific port of that container. So node port of 3,000 or 3,475 is if you hit the my service 8089, the traffic is routed to 8080 on the container target port. Trying to understand that real quick. Say your host machine IP is 10. You hit the metrics by going to hit the you hit the HTTP, the metrics, and the health services. It kind of makes sense. Node port, the port on which node the port on the node where external traffic will come in. The port of the service. Target port, the target port on, trying to understand this better. Internal cluster service for the container and listens for incoming requests from the node port and forwards to the target port. So should the target port be 8500? If a container doesn't support 9376, then the target port is 9376. If the service listens on port 80, then the port is 80. Then service port config looks like, that's where I'm getting confused. Port where HTTPD is running. All right, so let's do this. So Kubernetes, node app target port versus server versus port 3000. If I can do the 3000, maybe that'll give me some insight to it. Let me see. Should the container port and application port be the same for deployments in Kubernetes? The service's target port must match the port the process in the pod is actually listening on. It doesn't need to match a service port. The pod's container port on its own doesn't necessarily mean anything. So for example, if the service declares port 80 and target port 3000, then calling the standard HTTP port 80 on the service will forward to, okay, so that's what, so target port needs to be 3000. Service regular port, which is the service port, needs to be whatever you want it to be. The place where container port is useful is giving a name to the port. You can say this pod serves HTTP on port 3000. Then the service forwards port 80 to, okay, cool. They're in fact conceptually similar. So the service port / target port are in fact conceptually similar to run -p option, except the port remapping happens inside the cluster and isn't by default visible from outside the container system. I don't understand what that means. So I could say, okay, container port 3000. I think we have that. Target port would be 3000. Port would be 80. All right, let's try that real quick. So here we have our port and we have our target port. So we would end up doing kube, so expose service udec-fe and then port, target port, and name? I don't think we need name. So we do, let me make sure that our kube CTL get deployment. Let's make sure that it's still up and running. Yes, still up and running. So cool. Clear kube CTL, expose deployment. UDEC-FE, and then we're going to say port. We're going to say port 8500. And then target port equals 3000, right? Let's see what happens. Unknown flag. What do you mean unknown flag? I saw it right there. Hold on. Or is it just expose UDEC? Expose RC. Expose RC engine X, expose service engine X, or engine X, expose deployment. Oh, what did I type? That's what I did. What? kubectl expose deployment. And it said, what was our error? It looks right. kubectl expose deployment, and then the name, which is UDEC-FE, and then port, and then target port. So if we do that again, unknown flag target port. Oh, it's target dashport. My bad. My mistake. Dashport. Ooh, okay, cool. So that took. So now we do clear kubectl get services. And, oh, crap. Forgot to do something. Let's do, I'll delete it. kubectl delete service. And let's clear that out. We're going to do that same command over again. But we're going to say -- type equals load balancer. All right, now we do get services. And it should work. It should, quote unquote, should work on port 8500, right? But let's find out. We are here. We're going to go over here. We're going to refresh. What?
You're the best. Let's get it. I appreciate you.
We got it to work. We got it to work. Now, the AI stuff is not going to work because I put in a fake OpenAI key, but maybe, which is, I don't know. Maybe I am going to do it like if there is no key provided, then don't show the customized experience at all, right? But we got that to work. Now, the issue is that there is nothing. I don't think there's anything in the database, right? Why am I doing that? Actually, let me do that. Let's see. If we search for jobless network, and it says nothing is found, right? But if we were to go to maybe add something, possibly. Continue. Let's add this one. It's added. If we do a get now, and we only have this one. So let's say we do over here, we search for monthly. And look at that. Look at, let me close this out. Look at that. Look at that. We click on this and we have our data here. So if we add, how should I copy it over or should I just add like a test one? Let's add another one real quick. Let's do, I don't know where to get it from at this point because we are using our, let me go to, so I can find another one. This is continue. This is the monthly residential. Let me see if I can find another post. Still the monthly residential. What's in here? Are all of these monthly residentials? Let me see. All right, let's do this one. Right, let's do the producer price index. And if I find another one. Any other one? If I could find like one more to throw in there, that'd be cool. Weekly jobless claims. Let's do weekly jobless claims. Oh. All right, so we have 3,000 API glossary. Let's throw in the weekly jobless claims as well. Send that. And now, if we do a get, and we send those, so now we have the monthly residential, we have the producer price index, and we have the weekly jobless claims. If we go back over here and we search for, let's go back over here. I wonder why I didn't throw in the, oh, because I didn't build a new image. So, all right, so that's why. I was wondering why I didn't have the economic calendar and the last video, but that's fine. So if we do, I didn't build a new image. So let's say weekly jobless claims. So do monthly residential. And what was the other one? Producer. Right, there we go. There we go. So guess what? Guess the heck what? We, in the nick of time, we have our Kubernetes clusters running the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. We built that.
Lunch break.
And what a perfect way to end this segment as getting it to work on Kubernetes. We got it to work on Kubernetes. How you like them apples? Can't be stopped. We cannot be stopped because we are persistent. Who was? I'll talk about this in our last segment, right? But or not last segment as we wrap it up, right? But we got it to work. We got it to work. I am so excited. It took us weeks to get to this point, but now I know so much about Kubernetes now, like to deploy these microservices. Never did this before in my life. This is my first time using Kubernetes the past 2 months. And we deployed the fake, their little test thing, but we also deployed a real application. Let me go to full screen. As Stephen A would say, put the camera on me. Do you know what we just did here? We just did some remarkable work because this was hard. We did so much research to try to figure this thing out, and we actually got it. We did it, Joe. But we were able to get.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Talk about being rude.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Talk about being rude. But we got the first thing we got deployed and able to connect to was Mongo, right? The second thing that we did was we finally figured out how to get the backend deployed and connected to it with the IP addresses and all that good stuff, right? Then we got our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data with the front end today. We just figured out the front end today, which the culprit was the OpenAI key. We put in a fake OpenAI key, API key, and we're able to see it working. So that's good. If we were to put in a real key, then it would work. We can't use this locally unless we were to always keep it running because I think what happens is the database is going to get wiped out. There's no memory for it, but I wouldn't be using the Mongo database inside of Kubernetes. I would have it just forward to connect to my Mongo Atlas database and then serve it from there. So if this was like if this was deployed, number one, if it was deployed and it was a high traffic application, then we'd be using Kubernetes and it would be able to scale up and down as needed, all that cool stuff. So we actually did some remarkable work today. So you know what I say? I say let's clap it up for ourselves. I am so proud of myself and of all of you for going along with the ride with me, seeing me how I figured this out. So as we wrap this up, I'm going to put up the last banner as we wrap it up, right? But yesterday I had some friends over. So this friend, I used to work with him a few companies ago, and he is amazing Java developer. And we were talking about the channel and some of the streaming stuff. And he asked me, like, so how do you do it? And I said, well, I'm just learning this stuff. I wanted to learn about DevOps. I wanted to learn about ethical hacking. I wanted to learn about large language models. We were talking about how the company that he works for, they're trying to force AI where AI doesn't really fit into what they do. Neither here nor there. But he was like, and I was like, yeah, I'm just streaming what I'm learning. And he's like, he asked me, but what if you don't figure it out? What if you make a mistake? What if you mess up? I'm like, well, that's why I do it. I do it so you can see how hard this stuff is. Even when you have been in the field for a while. But the course that we're taking for DevOps, there is no chance. I don't believe it. We might not have gotten to that section yet, but I don't believe that it would have went in depth into what we did here to figure this stuff out. We had to put blood, sweat, and tears to figure this stuff out. And I think that is absolutely amazing. And that's why I say, hey, if you wanna learn about large language models, come see how I learn it. I do it totally different. I use the course, right? But then I venture off and I say, all right, for me to understand this, I need to go and do this project in order so it can make sense to me. And that's why I mapped out like how we're gonna build a content creation workflow. But just this alone, it's significant, because from never using Kubernetes to being able to deploy a microservice and have them all connected and all work together, figuring out the ports, all that type of stuff. Amazing stuff. So I am happy about that. With that being said, do me a favor. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be going live. We're going to be working on our large language models. We're going to be, I don't even know exactly we're going to be signing up for the different providers. We're going to be trying them out, putting some different commands. If you are in the chat, feel free to give me some commands you want me to ask these different providers, these different AI providers, to see, like, we're going to be comparing the quality of answers that they're getting. So all that good stuff. But I think today was a great day. We learned a lot. We did a lot. I am very, very happy with the quality of work that we did today. All right. Let me go and let me get this off the screen and let me check the chat before we wrap it up. We have one more left. It says, Mitch says, are you bragging or I got rid of this. Hold on. It says, are you bragging or are you complaining? Mitch, I am 1,000%, 1,000%. I am bragging the hell out of this. Because I don't know who's going to take you through this journey the way that I just took you through this journey. It took us maybe about a month to do this, maybe a little bit longer. We started off like, all right, we got this hello world REST API thing. Now, what about our own applications? And that's why I say it's always so important to practice on your own stuff. I could have just did whatever projects are in the React course, but I said no, or the full stack development course. But I was like, no, like, let me build something useful, something for our own show, Mitch. I'm like, let's build something useful. And this Urban Dictionary of Economic Data is very, very helpful to me. And now I'm thinking like, well, I could deploy it, and I could put behind it like a if you want to use the AI portion of it, you got to be a Patreon member. That's a thought. Maybe use the Patreon authentication. I don't know, but I think there's so many different opportunities that await us with us just continuing to try different things out, get different ideas. The more you do things, the more ideas you're going to get, and the more ways you're going to have to use it. That's why I'm like, just do it. Just do it. As the Nike slogan says, just do the damn thing. That is not the Nike slogan, right? I modified it a little bit, but it is what it is. It is what it is, right? we are going to wrap it up for today because I still have a lot of work to do. I have to finish creating the presentation for Wednesday. I need to schedule some videos. I need to create some thumbnails. I need to go through my workflow. And that's why I really need to build this AI workflow thing for my content creation app, because I'll probably be working on it for the next few hours, where if I had it, it would be like the next hour and everything would be done. So we are going to be building that in the morning, all that good stuff. Okay. Let me take a look at one little thing real quick. Give me a second before I wrap it up. Let me see. Nope, not yet. All right, cool. Just checking. All right. Well, with that being said, I have a question for you guys. On our way out, I have a question for you. My question for you is...
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I am very, very well entertained. I hope you had a great time with me. I had lots of fun. I love when we figure things out. We were fighting with it the same way that Mitch has us catch those hands. We had Kubernetes and Docker catch these hands of code as well. But you all know that yesterday's price is not today's price, and today's price is certainly not tomorrow's price, because as Marlo Stanfield said,
one more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is always going up. And with that being said, Tech Coach Ralph is off and out on this Sunday afternoon. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday. Let's get it. All right. I'm out. Have a great Sunday afternoon.
They said I wouldn't make it, they laughed at my dream. Every move I made felt like swimming upstream. But yesterday I met a fan, eyes full of belief. In their gaze I saw the end to my grief.
Doubt didn't win, trust began. Looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I saw myself alive. I put in all the hours, climbed out from the dirt. They dissed and dismissed, said I'd always get hurt. Met a fan so loyal, reflections don't lie. My biggest supporter is just me in my mind.
Through the noise and shadows I held my ground. Bumps, bruises, broken, no comfort found. But that fan smile turned my world around. Now I'm rising sky high above the sound.
Doubt didn't win and trust I began. When I looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man. Still have a lot to do, I still have to put away the chairs. But anyway, I've got all the chores. Or anyway, it's up to me to do them all. I still have to put my clothes today. All in all, reality is cats, like an alley cat at your park. But now I gotta do your part. I got a day job and a night job and an interview at 5. You've gotten rid of both boyfriends and you've given me the green light. I got a day job and a night job and an afternoon away. You just waved a hand and we're engaged, you say. I've been up since 4 a.m. and finishing this at midnight. After this thing I should sell it and call it quits when the getting's good. I took a night at your new club today to take a break away from the rats. But now I got your locker stool and your car keys in my cart. I pick up the pieces left on the floor while you walk away like you don't care no more. I'm tired of cleaning every mess you make, slowly losing patience with every break. Every promise broken never leads to change. I'm the one who's always left rearranged. Your lack of effort shows clear as the day. I'll be sweeping you out when I find my way. Hey, hey, I'm the cleanup crew, fixing your mess just like it's new. Hey, hey, won't be here long, cleaning house, I'm moving on. Watching you take credit for the work I do, every single task I pull double through. Your empty words no longer faze me. Soon enough your history, just wait and see. Where's the spark, the dedication gone? I'm carrying weight, dragging us along. No more excuses, your time is past. This sweeps your fate, I'll make it last.